It's so nice to see you all online and everyone gathered in the meeting room. So, my name is Echo for those of you who I have not met in person. And so, I'm just going to share some thoughts in this talk that will be followed by discussion. And the theme for this talk is around the moon, our practice, and Ongo. And really, it's kind of just some things that I want to share that's been alive for me lately, as hazy as it may be. And and I hope that something stimulates you in this talk that and stimulates our discussion. But first, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like for us to take this moment to just take a breath here together. Just taking a big inhalation and exhalation, as if you've had a long day and it's time to just put down all the bags and drop everything. Noticing the sounds around us, the temperature of the air on our skin, and perhaps even a deep settling inside. So, thank you. So, last Sunday, there was a total lunar eclipse, a blood moon. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to see it. Um, I didn't see the actual eclipse, but I did see the moon in its fullness on Saturday night. I was on a twilight walk and I was just stopped in my tracks as this beautiful disc was moving up through the tree branches. And as I walked, it became more and more um, free from any other sort of um, obscurations. And it was lovely because there were fellow walkers on the that I didn't know. These are absolute strangers. And they were stopping in their tracks looking at this moon. And so we were all smiling at each other and looking at this beautiful luminous disc, and complete strangers appreciating this moon. And as this was happening, I thought to myself that regardless of what is happening, through gripes, wishes, opinions that come and go, there is this moon. Sometimes it's obscured by clouds or rests as a black disk, but it is there. On a clear morning or evening, it may show up as a sliver or in half. But, and, it is still whole regardless of the view we may look at it with. So, in many cultures, lunar and solar eclipses are considered times of transformation and karmic shifts, times for reflection, prayer, and meditation. I feel this time is both personally and collectively a moment of great shift and change. And I think many of us have felt this shifting and this changing in more obvious ways. We've been sharing about our experiences with each other over the last year during these discussions, after talks, and in time and counsel practice. Many of us have faced large relocations, sick parents, the death of beloved people and other living beings in our lives, Naga, Kato, shifting job obligations, our own aging, and the changing dynamics in this country and the world. There's so much in motion. And this September has really felt particularly potent for me. And I've found a need for practice on and off the cushion. And I feel that this is the only sane response to these current times. I'm noticing the times that I want to avoid discomfort, to turn away, and this deeper curiosity to see what's happening when I don't turn away. And this can actually happen for me. Actually, it's come in some small and subtle ways. One notable way has been just my relationship with my phone, interestingly enough. When does the urge arise to pick up my phone? And when do I pause and rest with the breath for a moment before or instead of picking it up? When do I choose to connect with that which is arising? When do I take a breath before speaking when anger is triggered? Acknowledging the feeling of anger, but not acting it out unskillfully. So we're going to be starting our practice period, or Ongo, next weekend. And on next Sunday, September 21st, which is our last day of session, there's going to be a partial solar eclipse and a new moon. The new moon has traditionally symbolized new beginnings, a time to set intentions, and planting seeds for the future. In Buddhism, the full, new, and quarter moons mark the days of Upastha. I hope I'm saying that right. Which basically is a day that often contains rituals of atonement, purification, and renewal of vows. In our Zen tradition, we often observe a renewal of the precepts and bodhisattva vows on full moons through the ceremony of Fusatsu. And although I think that Fusatsu is a word for this upasatha, I've also seen it referenced as, or translated as, good continuous practice, or to stop unwholesome action. So I'm not sure how many of you in the room have done Fusatsu, but it's a beautiful service. It has a lot of chanting, bells, and bowing, and it's performed in this call and response. The lead chanter, or the Ino, will chant lines of the service, and then everyone repeats and bows. So for instance, when we're invoking names of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the Ino will say, Namo Maitreya Buddha. And then everyone responds and bows. And so it goes, acknowledging the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, those qualities that we practice with and that we look inside ourselves for and in each other. And we renew our vows to save all sentient beings and to wake up. And one thing that, again, I mentioned it, but I love that the ceremony corresponds with the moon. And actually, this last year or so, I've been paid more attention to the lunar cycle in my own life and practice. But I do have to say that September has felt significant to me in many ways around habits, clarity, commitment to practice. And whether this is a coincidence that this falls at the time of these eclipses and moon patterns, I am feeling the call for deepened practice. So in the spirit of our upcoming Ongo and these celestial happenings, I wanted to talk about Ongo and how Ongo can provide us an opportunity to deepen our faith and commitment to awakening. So Ongo means peaceful dwelling in Japanese and refers to the 90-day practice period that many Zen centers and monasteries do once or twice a year. And this practice can be traced back to the Buddha, the time of the historical Buddha, when the community of practitioners would gather during the summer monsoon season for intense study. This was really practical because it was difficult to wander during the monsoon season. And I find it really beautiful that the days of reflection that we do with Fusatsu correspond to the major moon phases, and the summer practice period that the Buddha and practitioners did coalesced and respected the torrential rains of the summers in India, being in tune with the earth patterns rather than fighting them. So Great Mountain Zen Center has an Ongo each year that starts in September and ends in December with Rahatsu. Just like the Buddha and his followers stopped to practice intensively in community during the summer rains, this is a time where we can intensify our training, limit our wanderings, so that we may deepen our faith with the strength of Sangha to support us. Now, faith in Buddhism is not pointing to mere belief, and there's nothing wrong with believing things, but it's more closely associated with the Sanskrit word sraddha, which means confidence or trust. And as we sit in meditation and bring our practice off the cushion to engage activities of daily life, we verify the teachings through our own experience and insight. And Ongo is a wonderful opportunity for us to support each other as we experience the teachings. In fact, Dogen Zenji, who is considered the founder of our Soto School of Zen, talks about practice enlightenment or practice verification in his writings called the Fukazazenji, which is his instruction for Zazen. He doesn't describe it as practice and enlightenment or practice and verification. There's a hyphen. So we don't practice to become enlightened. We practice because practice is enlightenment, is verification. We don't practice to attain Buddha nature. We are Buddha nature. Nonetheless, as in a cloudy night, just as the moon can be obscured, so too our Buddha nature can be obscured by our own conditioning. So I want to bring this to a close, but I have a question and a poem. that we can sit with for a little bit and then open to discussion. During this upcoming training period, the question is there a commitment that you want to make to practice? It could be as simple as sitting for 5 minutes daily, or remembering to take a pause, connecting with open awareness or the breath for a moment before answering the phone. Or it could even be attending one or all the sessions in 2025. Whatever it is, each of us can make it our own and feel into what we're being called to commit to. And I'll leave us with this poem, a little bit of silence, and then we'll have a discussion. And this poem is the first poem that's brought up in Dogen Zenji's writings on Ongo. And it's credited to one of his teachers. Set your bones upright upon level ground, and to seclude yourself, scoop out a cavern in space. Pass forthwith beyond the gate of dualities, only taking with you a darkness as dark as a black lacquered pail. And with that, I thank you all and would like to open the floor now to discussion and sharing.